Tonight on the Night Team. A weekend that was meant for celebration ends with a southern Indiana community mourning the loss of one of their own.
How could you not feel a little bit of warmth knowing that your son was this loved?
18-year-old Bryce Gerlach shot and killed right outside Harvest Homecoming. The suspects still on the loose. Tonight, multiple vigils held in his honor, how he's being remembered. And a canceled last day of the festival as vendors recount the terrifying moments leading up to the deadly shooting.
And a lot of the crowd dispersed and were just running around. It seemed almost like a little war.
How Floyd County plans to move forward. You're watching the WHAS11 Night Team. Tonight, we're learning more details about the shooting outside Harvest Homecoming that left a teenager dead and 2 others injured. Thank you for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Now, police say the shooting began after an argument between several young adults. 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach, a 22-year-old man, and 42-year-old woman were all 3 hit by the gunfire. Police are calling the 3 innocent bystanders.
Our initial belief is all of the persons who were shot in this incident were completely unrelated to the dispute that led to it. So all of these folks were innocent bystanders.
Right now, police say they have identified several suspects, but at this time they've made no arrests and have not positively identified any shooters. Organizers with Harvest Homecoming canceled the last day of the event, and tonight the community gathered to mourn the loss of 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach. Gerlach was a senior at Corydon Central High School and the kicker for their football team. Tonight, hundreds gathered at the Corydon Fairgrounds, the streets bright with his memory, as the Night Team's Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Aspen Hester report.
From the flag raised in his honor to the candles lit in his name, this vigil for 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach is one no one could have imagined when he left Corydon for New Albany's Harvest Homecoming Saturday night. It's left his hometown praying for strength from above.
The courage to stand beside of each other as a community.
That's how the organizers hope they get through this hand in hand.
It's hard to wrap our heads around it, and we don't know what to do and we don't know what the answer is, but we hope that everybody keeps showing up for the family like they are right now.
And so they did. Hundreds of flames flickering by Gerlach's family home on the way to the football field he played on the night before random gunfire took his life. The moment came as a surprise to New Albany's police chief.
We will normally get through these events without so much as arresting anybody.
2 more people took bullets in that shooting, a man in his 20s and a woman in her 40s. Police say they do have suspects in mind for the shooting that happened where the rides are now being cleaned up, but they haven't made any arrests yet. Parked outside of Jack's Bar in New Albany, Island Noodles raised money for Gerlach's family, selling noodles all day as Harvest Homecoming organizers canceled the festival's final day.
Yeah, we're a big community, but we're also a small community at the same time, so we've got a good thing going here, and I don't think we're the only ones to do this. I've saw pop-ups all over just coming together and loving one another.
The choice just as obvious for customers.
I mean, I just think that's what you do in a time of need.
Especially for a young man so admired by the people around him, even the next generation of Corydon Panthers.
I wasn't really good whenever I first started at camp, and he really helped me through it.
Yeah.
He was really a part of helping me become a better football player, a better person in general. He was always there for me.
And now, people are there to send off Gerlach's spirit.
It's devastating and somber, but yet the love, that's also an amazing thing to feel.
While who shot Gerlach is still unknown, it's obvious there's a whole town missing his infectious smile. In Harrison County, Ian Hardwitt for the WHAS11 Night Team. On your side.
Now, following last night's deadly shooting, the last day of Harvest Homecoming was canceled. We spoke with festival vendors today as they were taking down their booths, who recounted to us the frightening moments last night that ended in tragedy.
Everything was going wonderful. People were having a good time. Children were here, and then out of nowhere, suddenly we hear gunshots. We knew instantly it was gunshots. Everyone that was around started falling down on their hands and knees. It was pandemonium.
Harvest Homecoming Incorporated announced this morning that the decision to cancel today's events was made, quote, out of respect for those impacted by the tragedy last night and the overall well-being of our patrons, vendors, and volunteers, end quote. One vendor we spoke with says she understands the decision to cancel, but was bummed to lose out on the final day's business.
I'm so bummed out. The festival closed early. Whoever did that last night, I mean, they not only hurt a lot of people, but they hurt a lot of you know, the vendors that are here today that made investments in coming here, and we're expecting to be working today.
New Albany Mayor Jeff Gahan released a statement following last night's tragedy, saying in part, quote, gun violence at a family festival is heartbreaking and tragic, and our country must find a way to come together to stop this type of violence, end quote. Well, it could be the final word in the Jamie Knoll criminal case. Tomorrow, the former Clark County Sheriff will be back in the courtroom for a possible sentencing. Back in August, Knoll pleaded guilty to 27 of the 31 felony charges he's facing. The agreement included a 15-year sentence, 12 of those years to be served in prison and 3 years of probation. Judge Larry Medlock says he will not accept the plea until he hears from the victims of Knoll's alleged crimes. Right now, 19 people are currently signed up to give impact statements at the hearing, and we recently spoke with prosecutor Rick Hurdle, who told us what he's been hearing from those victims.
Many of them expressed a lot of pleasure sounds bad, but satisfaction that he is going to go to a prison system.
Some victims we spoke with, however, told us they don't believe the deal provides them justice. After Judge Medlock hears from the victims, it will be up to him to decide whether to accept Knoll's plea or throw it out. We will be in the courtroom tomorrow at 9 in the morning. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump were on the campaign trail this weekend, visiting several crucial swing states. The latest ABC News Ipsos poll shows an extremely close race and is also providing some insight into how voters feel about several key issues. Those issues include the economy, immigration, and abortion. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack with the details.
With just over 3 weeks until Election Day, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are locked in a tight race. The Vice President holding a rally in Greenville, North Carolina.
With your help in 23 days, we will win.
Harris released her medical records this weekend, criticizing Trump for not doing the same and for not agreeing to a second debate.
Why does his staff want him to hide away? Are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America?
A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows Harris with a narrow 2-point lead among likely voters nationally. The economy weighing on voters' minds. 59% believe it's getting worse, with just 23% saying it's getting better. The poll found 56% of Americans support restoring a national right to abortion, which Harris has advocated for. 56% of voters now favor deporting all undocumented immigrants, which Trump has proposed. The former president in Prescott, Arizona, promising to hire more border agents and continuing his anti-immigrant rhetoric.
When I win on November 5th, the migrant invasion ends.
During an interview with Fox News today, Trump using increasingly dark language to describe his political opponents.
The people from within, we have some very bad people, we have some sick people, radical left lunatics, and I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Vice President Harris's spokesperson responding immediately, writing, "This should alarm every American who cares about their freedom and security. What Donald Trump is promising is dangerous, and returning him to office is simply a risk Americans cannot afford." Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Nearly 40 Central High School juniors are now one step closer to pursuing a career in the medical field. Central High School held a white coat ceremony today for students in the pre-medical magnet program. Through this program, students are able to shadow U of L doctors, scrub into operating rooms and witness surgeries. They can also practice performing simpler procedures like sutures.
Looking at what they can be. It's learning. Once they put on those white coats, they go into the hospital, The sky is the limit. This is a stepping stone for me to become the doctor that I want to be and pursue what I want to do. It means the world to me to even be able to do this, to experience this.
Central High School's pre-med program was launched in 2022 and is one of the 2 high schools in Kentucky to offer the program. The Big Bad Wolf, Forrest Gump, and Mario, all members of the Louisville Orchestra, dressed up today for their first concert of the season, their Family Spooktacular. Hundreds of kids and their families came out to the event for trick-or-treating, arts and crafts, and of course, a concert from the Louisville Orchestra.
We know how important it is for families to be able to have spaces where they can come together safely and have high quality programming that supports their kids' learning, literacy, and just be really integrated and have some joy. And we try to incorporate all of those aspects in our programs.
The event today was sponsored by Deloitte, so everyone was able to attend for free.